Hey, what's up everyone, it's Grim here, hope you're all good. I have coffee, we have Warhammer footage. Today is a good day. Now I want to kick it off first. Let's go with this. Let's always start as we do with the question. Now, you guys have, I have no shadow of a doubt, seen the livestream number 2 and now livestream number 3. What are you guys feeling so far? What did you think, you Orky fans, of the new Orc models? What did you think of the Eldar models? What did you think of the little bit of combat they showed us? Put down what you think so far. You know, has this inspired you to buy a Founders Pack yet? Are you regretting buying your Founders Pack? Just put down below what you guys are thinking, if this game is heading in a direction that you're hoping it will. So, let's crack on with what this video is about, and it is combat. I know, Grim, you've skipped the models, you haven't done anything on that yet. I know, apologies guys. I will just give you a little bit of RL. I know, that disgusting term RL, but there it is. Basically, we had... If you don't know, the UK is currently suffering from like a heat wave. It's ridiculously hot here, but we're also getting some thundery rain and stuff like that. And that thundery rain is playing fucking merry havoc with my router. Not entirely sure why, but the router has been an absolute fucking pain. For those of you that have never uploaded or tried to upload to YouTube or anything like that, you will know that an hour-long video is an absolute bitch to try and upload. It's just, it's fucked the whole schedule up. It's been a right pain in the arse. But anyway, fingers crossed, things seem to be back on track now. I haven't had any issues for a couple of days. So, yeah, all good. Both videos have gone up now, they've gone live, and I'm actually feeling confident that I can start doing some videos again. So here we are. Hello. So let's crack on. Okay, combats, as you guys would have seen on the screen, we got some combat footage. Yeah, Behave did a little 6v6 playtest of the game, just to sort of show us what they were thinking. Now, please bear in mind, guys, as I've said in all my videos so far, this is alpha, okay? We're not even at beta stage yet. We're at, I think they've said they're at pre-alpha. So, you know, guy uses his jetpack, he got stuck in the building. It just shows you how raw this is at the moment. So, I'm going to touch a little bit on weapon balance and things like that. But I'm kind of, take it with a pinch of salt, guys. It's not like, oh my god, the bird, that's ridiculous. Throw my toys out the pram, I'm not playing this game. This game's rubbish, I'm cancelling my pre-order. Don't read too much into this, guys. But, you know, the proof, as they say, of the pudding will be when we get our hands on beta. And also on alpha for Founders and stuff like that. So, that's going to be the proof. But it's good to gossip. So, let's crack on. Now, first thing I did notice was, and I say this obviously from a Devastator's standpoint, was the Devastator looked shit to me. I mean, there's at one point in it that you've got Devastator Marine is just full auto. He is just opening up, and he's probably about, I would go the grand total maybe 40 yards away from this guy, 20 yards away, and the guy has time to zoom down the scope of his Stalker bolter, aim at the guy, and then pop maybe 2 or 3 rounds into him, and he's dead. And literally the suppression rounds which are going around this guy are unbelievable. So that could do with getting tweaked. But yet when, if you guys can just see through the scope, where that guy's looking is like the B flag. Now, earlier on in the game, they had a couple of guys on B flag, and there was some Chaos Devastator guys up on this building top, shooting down at them. I mean, which is, when you see it properly, it's a decent range. It is not short. And the Devastators were really laying down some good suppressing fire, and they were picking guys off. They were mullering these guys. And so I'm wondering if potentially to sort of balance the gun a bit more, whether the closer you get with the bolter, as in the heavy bolter, the Devastator Marines, the closer you get, the less effective the gun is. I'm not sure, but it seemed really weak up close, but yet really strong at range, which you'd expect from a Devastator, obviously. But I don't like the idea of scaling the damage. It just doesn't seem right. I prefer it that the reason a Devastator loses out at close range is because his gun's so unwieldy. It's difficult to swing that gun around. There's a tactical Marine who's able to roll behind you, or there's a guy with a jetpack. I expect that to be the reason why I'm losing combat. He's able to just have that little bit more maneuverability than me, because I'm lugging around this huge backpack and this huge gun. I know I'm in power suit. I know it compensates for a lot of stuff, but it's still a fucking big weight to be lugging around. So that was interesting. The other thing that was interesting was I was, and I've said it before, worried that THQ had done a great game. It looked really nice, but their balance on Space Marine was pretty atrocious because Assault was so strong. And don't get me wrong, Assault still looks strong on this. They still look like, at the moment, the kids to beat. And I was kind of like, ooh, I don't know, bit of a worry. And that might be the jump pack's just a little bit too much range. Might be, I don't know. I mean, that's a scaling issue. Potentially that'll change in the betas. But as the more and more I watched, the more and more I got into it, and the more and more, I was going to save this for the end, but I might as well talk about it now because it's quite a big point. The more I got my head around, this isn't a Call of Duty, you know, THQ Space Marine style multiplayer. This is not, you know, for want of a better term, 6v6 arena. This is an MMO. This is grand scale. So whereas, you know, when your jetpack guy jumps in and he's mullering you, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. Well, yeah, he is going to muller you, especially in a one-on-one scenario like that. But you can remember in live, on B right now, so see where that guy is looking down over at the B flag. Down there could be potentially 50, 60, 100, 200, 300, 500 of your enemy. And up on this building, you could have 200, 300 guys. Down below, you could have land raiders, you could have predator tanks charging in. When you give the game that sort of gravitas, that sort of scale, all of a sudden, the little things that seem slightly imbalanced now, I think will be ironed out. And that's also a worry, I'm not going to lie, because if you don't get those numbers, you know, if you don't get those sort of players playing, then you're kind of like, oh, all the balance was made for large scale, and it just doesn't feel right. Or they edge and go, well, you know, potentially the game is going to be much smaller than we thought. It's not going to be the 500 odd people, you know, in close proximity having this firefight. It's actually going to be, you know, more like 30 people on either side. So you balance the game around that, and then you do get large scale. Don't get me wrong, this is not a criticism, I don't envy the guys, because whatever they do, somebody's going to go, your class is too overpowered, my class is too underpowered, they need a nerf, I need a boost, rah 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 rah. Always going to happen. It's happened from time immemorial. As soon as you pitted people against each other, there was a reason they were losing, and it was not a lack of skill. Guarantee you that. It was not their lack of skill, it was definitely because the other person was overpowered. But no, so I really like that. The res system, I was kind of, I'm not sold on it entirely yet. You seem to get a lot of time to just bleed out, which means that you can see it in this. There's a couple of instances when guys are under really heavy suppression from the heavy bolters, and they're still able just to walk up. They kind of res their friend just kind of casually as they're getting rained on with bullets. You know, I'm not sold on it yet. But in all fairness, again, we're at pre-alpha, so it'd be interesting to look and see how they adjust that. But in principle, I like it. I mean, maybe I say in inverted air commas, you should really only your healing class should be able to res. But that might be my mindset. That might be me being too, you know, too old school, too World of Warcraft, too Warhammer. Just it might be that, you know, and also that might make it very clunky. Just whatever side's carrying the most. Why not just be a medic? If a medic can carry the same gun as a tactical marine, then why not just have an entire company of medics? Yeah, if you get little mechanics like that, people will abuse it, and you will get big guilds coming in and abusing that. I know I've said that before, but it is true. You have to look at that kind of, you have to put the mass pug players and be able to balance that with guys that will abuse your mechanics just to win, not to have fun. They are there to smash you and win. That's it. So again, don't envy these guys with what they're trying to pull off. But yeah, as I'm seeing now, I've got a matter of seconds left. I will say, really impressed with what they've done. I love this setting. It looked awesome. Also, they showed off night and day. I'm going to do that in another video, but they showed off the night and day mechanic, and it looked so sexy. Guys stood on top of a tall spire on this map, and they let it just go night and day, and it just looks spectacular as the light comes across. This is pre-alpha, guys. What they've done, every time I see a new stream, every time I see a new video, new bit of content go up, I'm more and more impressed. I will be honest, I have not done my Founders Pack yet, but that is more due to the fact that certain bits of information I'm waiting for, and I've spoken about this in other videos, has not yet been answered. Once those boxes have been ticked, I will be the first person to jump up and slap down my money and say, yes please, and I'll tell you guys about it. But I just want to be honest and say, look guys, I'm not going to blow sunshine up your ass and say, this game's amazing, looks awesome, when I'm not even prepared to put my money down. But it's getting close, guys, the wallet's open.